All right, welcome everybody to Saturdays with Spirit. I'm Dallisa Hawking. I'm the CEO of Spirit and Spark. I'm a fifth generation psychic medium, and Spirit and Spark is located in the heart of Las Vegas, and we're excited that you joined us for our episode today. Brandy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So we're excited to have you on today's episode. I am personally really excited. Of course, I sat down with you about a half hour before we started this live broadcast, and I've heard her story, and I can't wait for you to hear it as well. So Brandy had a near-death experience, and so we're going to get into that and what happened, and thank you for sharing what happened to you. I know that it's a very personal story. But I think that with your story and sharing it with our audience, they'll get something from it as well.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
People get what they need.
Absolutely. I have had some interesting things with near-death experiences with studying them. I grew up outside of the Seattle area, and my pediatrician was one of the leading experts on near-death experiences in children. So we'd go into his office, and he would have, drawings from kids up,
awesome.
all through the office of, kids that had their own near-death experiences. And then fast forward years later, I was at UNLV, and Dr. Raymond Moody, who's one of the leading experts in the whole world, he happened to be teaching a whole semester on near-death experiences, so I was able to study with him, which has been fascinating.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and you find that near-death experiences kind of have a lot of repetition and a lot of things that people experience that are the same.
Very similar, some are a little different.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So let's get started and talk about what happened to you, okay? And I would encourage anybody that's watching, if you have a question, go ahead and let us know. Just comment on the video. We have Sarah helping us out today, so she'll be on the lookout for your questions. So let us know, and we'd be happy to try and include those while we're sitting here with Brandy today. So where did you grow up? Where'd you live?
I grew up in southern Utah on the Grand Staircase Escalante, 60 miles east of Bryce Canyon National Park.
Is that out in the middle of nowhere?
The middle of nowhere. The nearest Walmart is 300 miles.
Oh my gosh, how do you live 300 miles from a Walmart? I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah.
I thought there was a Walmart around every corner.
Yeah, no.
Apparently not.
2.5 hour drive to a Walmart. An hour to a hospital.
Wow.
So.
Okay, so that's out in the middle of the sticks. Okay. It had to have been beautiful though out there, right?
If you ever get a chance, it's Highway 12, and that's what I lived on. Is the top 10 most beautiful highways in the world.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to put that on my list.
It's an amazing drive.
Okay. All right.
You go from red rocks and canyons to forest to white rocks, desert to high desert.
Wow.
Trees within 2 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So.
All right.
Just if you're scared of heights.
Don't go?
It's drop off, 10,000 drop off.
10,000 feet drop off. Oh.
And it's a 2-lane highway with no pull-offs or guardrails. So. But
I think
amazing.
it just got off my list. I don't think I'm gonna. Okay.
But it's amazing.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know if I'm that adventurous, but okay. So you grew up out there, and your near-death experience started, or it happened when you were 14 years old, right?
I was 14. Yep.
Okay, so you were in the 7th grade.
7th grade.
What was going on in your life at that time?
My parents had got divorced. We had actually moved away to St. George, and I was just coming home for Thanksgiving. It was pretty tumultuous relationships and abuse, and I was just in a really down state.
Okay. So not a happy time in life.
No.
No. And then there was a fateful day. You decided to go out with some friends. So walk me through that day. So you wake up that morning, and what happens?
We decided to go snow tubing.
Okay.
And it was big tractor tires, so not just little tubes.
Like big
tractor tires, yeah.
Okay.
So we drive out about 15 miles from town.
You're already in the sticks.
Yes.
The town is probably not like that much of a town.
Less than 800 people.
And you said the hospital was an hour away. Okay.
You have a small clinic, and doctors come Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Well, they would alternate days. We did have like a registered nurse in our town, but
okay.
other than that,
all right,
you
get
on the ambulance and go.
You're out of luck on the weekends if anything happens to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you wake up, you decide you're going to go tubing with big tractor tires.
And,
who are you with?
Really close friends of the family, a few family members.
Okay.
There was probably like 15 or 20 of us.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of people.
Well, when you live in a small town, just the neighbors, whatever you're going to do, you get in and go do.
Okay. All right. So you pile in the trucks,
yep.
the cars.
Yep.
Okay. You had about 15 miles away.
Yep.
Okay. And what happens when you get there?
Everyone's going down there. It's pretty steep. It's not just like a little hill. It's kind of a big incline.
Yeah.
They take your four-wheelers up, and you would drive your tube up to the top with a four-wheeler and then ride down.
Okay.
So
you got some adventure in
I'm
you.
very adventurous. And I was on the tube with my uncle and a friend, and I was in the middle.
Okay.
And we start to go down, and it sucks me under.
Okay.
The tube. So I am under the tube. I'm on the bottom where the snow, and then the tube on top of me, and then the two other people on top of that.
Okay, so you've kind of made a tractor tire sandwich.
Yep.
So you're at the bottom, and then it's the tire.
Yep.
And then it's the people.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're at the bottom, and
yeah,
then I don't even know how much this tractor tire must weigh as it's on top of you.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not, probably like 5 pounds or maybe even a little more, maybe 15.
Really?
Well, you think of a tire, your regular tire,
yeah.
And you air it up.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So they're pretty heavy.
Okay, okay.
They're not light.
Yeah.
But they're not extremely heavy either.
Okay.
So probably like maybe 5 to.
And then you've got two adults on top of you.
On top of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happens? You remember like getting sucked underneath the tube.
Sucked underneath the tube, and it kind of went black like a movie. And then I remember being above my body.
Okay. So you literally go from being underneath this tire, and it cuts screen to black.
Yeah, to blackness.
And then the next thing you remember is hovering above the tire and the people that are on top of the tire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So walk me through what it feels like hovering above your body.
It was the most calming. Like I would have thought I would be very anxious or nervous, but it was the most calming feeling I've ever felt. It was just calm. Like watching people do CPR on me, give me mouth to mouth, people running frantically, trying to get the truck, and just watching them as a whole. It was, I don't even know how to explain the feeling of watching other people work on you. It's like watching somebody else's movie of your life. So
I've heard that. That's been consistent with other near-death experiences. The hovering above the body has been something that people have described as one of the mainstays in near-death experiences. Is that feeling of watching, like, is this my life? Is this what's...
Yeah, and
what is this?
You're kind of confused, but at a peaceful state. Because usually when you're in confusion, you're going kind of have anxiety and like, what the heck is going to go on?
Yeah.
What's going to happen next? But it wasn't like that. It was just very calm.
Do you feel like this was perhaps a separation of like your soul and then your physical body? Do you feel like it kind of separated and that's why you felt that you could distance yourself from the experience?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're hovering.
Hovering.
And you don't know how far above your body?
Yeah, because you can see everything around you. It's like being in a helicopter and being able to look down and see everything. And all the people. But the one thing I do remember is the heightened of hearing. Like you could really hear people's voices louder than you normally would hear them.
Mm-hmm.
And and differentiate if two people are having a conversation and you can understand their conversation and other people's conversation. It was really odd.
So it's almost as if when you're in that state, you're all knowing.
All knowing.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you can have conversation like with somebody else, but you can hear if somebody over here is further away having conversation, or if somebody was having conversation in the truck, you noticed that as well.
Okay. Did you ever feel when you were hovering and maybe just intuitively know that even if somebody wasn't saying something out loud, do you feel like you could pick up the telepathy, the things they were thinking?
Yeah, because there was only one guy in the truck driving, and like I could hear him. And like I could hear all the thoughts of every person.
Wow. So they put you in the back of this truck.
Yeah, they put me in the back of this truck. They started CPR and put me in the back of the truck.
During this time, did you realize that you had died?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
it didn't quite click.
It didn't quite click. It wasn't until after being in the tunnel that it clicked.
All right, so then let's talk about the tunnel. So you're hovering, you see all this stuff going on, you see them doing CPR on you. You feel like your body is now going. There's this guy that's driving you, presumably to the hospital at that point. You kind of figure that out. And then does it cut to black again?
Yeah, it just cuts to, well, not necessarily black. It was just like this iridescent white light that I've never seen ever.
Okay. So you go from hovering directly into a tunnel.
To a white light, yeah.
And okay. So what does this tunnel look like when you get there?
Well, it's like has a path down, like it looks like a road, like an iridescent path road. A good way to describe it would be like the yellow brick road from the Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
But it's iridescent.
Okay.
Like this color that I can't describe to you. I've never seen it ever again in my life. I can't even like picture it. Like it's just this feeling of peace and all-knowing, and then it has like a cover. It was just this white light all the way around.
Like a dome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like a dome. Like
Fremont Street.
Yeah, kind of like Fremont Street. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it's just all iridescent white color.
Okay. So
this calm, just like...
I was going to say, what did you feel when you were in this tunnel?
Like, I just knew, like, everything. Like, I could, like, picture in my mind how life, you could just picture anything and it would just be there in your mind. It was just knowing, like, everything.
What did you feel this tunnel was? Like, what do you feel it represented, or where were you, do you think?
Well, I knew I was, like, with God, it was just like this tunnel of whiteness, and I knew, like, I had never had peace like that ever in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, I just knew I was home. Mm-hmm. It was like the most brilliant place of home.
Yeah. Was there a message or anything you heard, or a voice, or walk us through what happened in the tunnel?
So there was a white light that shined at the end of this tunnel that I kept wanting to walk towards, and they kept telling me, it was a male voice, and he kept telling me, it's not your time, you can't come. You have to go back. Turn around, go back. It's not your time. And I'm pleading with him, no, I gotta stay here. I like it here. Mm-hmm. This is my place.
At 14, at 14 years old, you're pleading with God to please let you in.
Yeah, please let me in.
Yeah.
Please let me be here. This is where I'm supposed to be. I know it.
Yeah.
This is the feeling.
Yeah. And he said no. He said, go march your little tush around and go back.
He said, no, it's not your time. You have to go back.
Yeah.
You can't stay.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, I had some Kleenex in the corner yesterday. Oh,
that's all good.
Sarah will grab us a few Kleenex. I know it's emotional, and
I'm
glad you're sharing this with everybody, because I really feel like your story is going to help people that maybe have had their own experiences like this, or maybe don't have the faith that they want to necessarily have in the other side, or God, or what's possible. Thank you. So thank you for being vulnerable and sharing this story.
Well, I think a lot of times people will have those experiences and people tell them that they're crazy, or they don't really believe what they have to say.
Yeah.
And so it is important that people know that this does happen and it is real, and it's okay to share. And the more people share, the more people are open.
It's more acceptable, you know?
Yeah, it becomes more acceptable.
I think we've come a long way, especially in the last 8 to 10 years, in what's socially acceptable and what people will share. And
right.
I think it's just a matter of time. I think personally this year and next year will be a huge year of growth, where we'll have better understanding between us and the other side, and the veil between us will be thinning. I think it's just a matter of a little bit more time, and then we'll really start experiencing that.
We see it all the time where more people are seeing and opening up and being able to see the dead or people on the other side the veil and listen and be more open, because not just the ones that were really pushed to do it. At the last 20 years.
Right.
Because it was usually the last 20 years that was people that were really, really pushed and saying, no, this is your journey.
Yeah.
And now people all over are opening up just to be empaths and light workers and a lot of other things.
Yeah. So going back to the tunnel, he says, no, you can't stay.
I can't stay.
And so what was the next thing you remember after hearing that?
Darkness, like being shoved back into my body. Very heavy. I came to, could open my eyes, could see the people around me in the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm. At that moment, did you realize what had happened?
Yeah, you just knew. And I tried to talk to people about it, and they just told me I was crazy.
That you were crazy. Yeah, but you knew better. You knew that you'd just gone on a fantastic voyage.
Yeah, actually, it was really hard because I didn't want to stay here anymore.
You didn't want to be here.
I didn't.
Yeah. And I think that based on our conversation, throughout the years to come, you had made choices to try and go back to the tunnel.
I have.
and try to go back where you would call home.
Right.
Yeah.
Back home.
Yeah. Do you want to share one of those? You were telling me a little bit about one of the experiences that you had, and this was recent. This was last year.
This was a year ago.
And if you feel like you want to share this and maybe hopefully give some hope to people that might be feeling the same way.
Yeah, a year ago I was in just a weird space and I was just done. So I drove my car to the lake and I knew I was going to drive into the lake. I turned all of my phone systems off so nobody could find me. Find your iPhone, all of that stuff. And I sat there for a little while and my battery had got to 1%. And it was just like angels were like, just call your husband. So I called him and I said, I'm at the lake, and the phone died. And I go to start my car to drive into the lake and my car won't start. And then my husband actually showed up. And after that experience, more gifts actually came in.
Yeah. And you knew, but you shared with me, my car didn't start, which did not allow me to drive myself into the lake. And do you feel like that was a huge sign from your angels and from the universe to say, did you hear us, Brandy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's now your path, and now stop trying to go home. You need to help people.
And how do you feel, over a year later, knowing why you're here?
Everything has changed. Everything. People that came into my life, people that I've helped, people that have came to me because they wanted to commit suicide. I have helped them. People that are on their own spiritual journey and are stuck, I have helped move them forward. Or if they have gifts that they don't know how to share or understand, I have really helped them to open up themselves to be able to use their gifts.
And now as you think back to that experience when you were 14 years old, do you see now why God said to you, it's not your time? Do you understand that now?
I understand that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. You had a mission.
I had a mission.
And I think we sign up for soul contracts or certain things that we have to do in life.
Definitely.
And so if we haven't fulfilled those obligations that we signed up to do,
you're going to come back.
You get to come back. So you might as well work on what it is you feel like you're being called to do. Yeah. And I'm glad that you feel that in your heart now, in your soul, and you know why you need to be here.
Yeah.
The why is important, because once you know your why,
then you can work on the inspiration for others and help others on their why.
Yeah. And so you'd mentioned that after your near-death experience at 14, you started to experience more of the psychic gifts.
Yeah.
And there was an experience that you had, you said about 6 months after your near-death experience.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
So 6 months after my near-death experience, I had a vision, fully awake in my bed, that my best friend was going to die in a car wreck. Exactly how, what they said, everything. And the next morning it came true. And she was killed in a car wreck, exactly how I had seen it.
So the night before, you were getting the complete vision of everybody that was there, what was happening.
Yeah.
You could see it detail for detail as you're awake. You could see it like clairvoyance then.
Yes.
So the vision.
So it's just like was a video playing for me.
Yep. So you're watching the video that night, and you mentioned you were living far away. They were way up in the mountains.
Camping.
So they're camping, no cell phones. There's no way to really alert them at all.
Right.
And so you're getting this complete download of your best friend dying in a car accident. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning,
it happens.
You get a notification that it happened exactly the way that you had seen it the night before.
Yes.
Down to how...
Down to the bruises on her face at the memorial for me. It was like I could see everything, and then walking into her memorial and seeing all of the things was exactly as I had seen from the wreck beforehand.
Why do you think she came to you, or why do you think the universe or God was trying to alert you and show you this before it happened?
We had just been so close. We had spent the whole summer together, and so there was that soul connection. I know that there was that soul connection. And I was pretty devastated, but I think it was to open me up to be able to know that I had gifts that I had after my near-death experience too. Yeah.
Alert you to what was coming more so for you, what you were stepping.
Stone.
Yeah. You mentioned also that she came to visit you.
She did.
So after her death.
After her death.
So tell us a little bit about how she showed up and what she brought with her.
Well, after her death, I had a really hard time because I felt very, very guilty to have this vision and not be able to stop it. And being 14, having that mindset of you're invincible and things aren't going to happen to you, and then you can see this, then it was very traumatizing for me to say, okay, I seen this and couldn't stop it. So she actually came to my bed and stood at the bottom of my bed for a long time and just stood there in this angelic white dress, just standing there. And then she came back about 2 weeks later and picked me up and told me it was going to be okay.
She physically picks you up out of your bed.
Out of my bed. Yes,
okay.
She holds me.
She holds you.
Yeah.
And tells you it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. And that she's okay.
That she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that she's not coming back.
Yeah, and she's not coming back.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice of her to give you a heads up. Yeah. How long do you feel like you were there with her as she held you?
It was a long time because I remember looking over at the clock and the numbers, 333.
Ah, okay.
In the morning. And when I decided to stop, it was 3:45.
Oh, wow.
It was a long period of time.
Okay. Do you ever see threes and think of her?
I always see threes. Threes always come in, ones always come in, and sevens always come in.
Okay.
So
I just think it's interesting that she showed up at 333, so I would assume that threes would show up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did it feel being held by her and knowing that everything was going to be okay?
I was really jealous because I wanted to go back home.
You wanted to go where she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was really hard.
Yeah. Did you ever hear from her now, or do you feel like she's around at all?
She probably is around all the time. I don't really connect into her that much. I haven't really felt her since then, but I'm sure she comes around. And
those threes, I think, are part of her signal. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, when I've studied about near-death experiences, I often hear about the hovering, the tunnel with the bright light and God, and feeling like all loving, omnipresent.
Like a piece of like you would never feel ever in your lifetime.
Yeah. Another commonality between near-death experiences is the life review. And so maybe that's what happens like beyond the light. Do you have any opinion of what, if you could have gotten past that light and they said, okay, come on in, what do you think was on the other side of that?
Well, it's weird just being in that light because it was, and maybe I didn't stop, but you had a lot of thoughts. It was a lot of thoughts, but I was really tuned into the voice telling me I had to go back.
Okay.
But I just, you just had this thoughts of knowing. Like you could ask a question in your head and it would just be there.
It would be there.
Yeah.
The life review, I've had it explained to me where essentially you're presented with everything you did in your life, and then you actually end up feeling it from the other person's perspective. And so if you were the boss, let's say, and you fired someone, in your life review, you would be feeling the emotion and the impact from the person that was the person you fired, because then it helps you to see everything that happened in your lifetime so that it's more comprehensive.
And I feel that here now on earth, like I can just, I pick up on everyone else's emotions and their stuff. So I don't know if that was just something that was gave to me when I was there, or because I just kind of have a knowing of information. Yeah. And I can just pull it up in an instant.
Yeah. And I often hear people through mediumship that come and have sessions from loved ones that step forward on the other side. Sometimes the question is, what are they doing? Are they okay over there? And I usually find that they're doing things that they enjoyed while they were doing on Earth, whether it's fishing or sitting in the garden or whatever, cooking. So I find that there are a lot of similarities between what they're doing here and what they enjoy doing over there.
Right.
And that Earth is a classroom, and that Earth is one of the most advanced classrooms we can go to. And it's why,
I would say that.
And it's why you can keep coming back over and over and over to Earth, because there's so much to learn and do and experience here that it's not like a one and done. I've heard that there are other places you can go to that are also classrooms, but they're not as sophisticated or hard or evolved. And maybe you just go and do that like one time. But Earth is... kind of this crazy, this is like advanced player learning here.
And if you don't learn it the first time, he gives you a little bit harder push and a bigger rock.
I think that there are people that do have to come back if they didn't accomplish what they said they were going to do, or maybe there's still contracts that are left undone that need to be finished. So I think people kind of sign up for this one over and over again. And some of us are like, I must have been drinking when I signed up for this, because what am I doing? So maybe we'll be a little bit more wiser the next time when they say, oh, Brandy, Dallisa, you guys are going in again. So we'll see.
No, thank you. That's why I came back.
Yeah.
Now. So I don't have to come back again.
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel you on that one. I think there are a lot of people that feel the same way. So do your work now. Don't take the easy way out. So your near-death experience, the car dying and not going into the lake last year, you just stepping full power into who you are now and knowing what you're here to do.
Yes.
Do you feel now, as you look back on what you've been through, can you see them all as gifts?
Yes.
Okay.
Wholeheartedly. I had to go through every step and every hardship to be where I'm at and to have the gifts that I have.
So what gifts do you feel like came along with all of these difficult situations?
The gift of knowing, like I just know things. I feel people's pain in my body. I pick up people's thoughts and emotions in my body. I help them. I can walk down the street and know if people are sad or if they're sick or diseased or any of that if they didn't have a heart attack. And so I think I'm here to clear that, and I energetic will do that often. I've had some pretty amazing experiences of bringing people back and helping people if they think they want to leave, not leave, and helping physical ailments as well.
You're definitely meant to be here.
I'm definitely meant to be here.
I'm glad you know it. I'm glad you know it.
And now I'm stepping into it.
Perfect. Perfect. You can bring what you've learned and experienced on the other side into Earth School.
Yeah.
And help people.
Along.
Yeah. You're not meant to be there just yet.
Yeah, just yet.
We'll all go over the Rainbow Bridge at some point, but yeah. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience, and anything that you feel people need to hear today?
I think people just need to really step into their true self and know them, and they know who they are. Don't let everyone else tell you who you are.
Be true to yourself.
Yeah. Be true to yourself and your gifts. Don't deny them.
Don't deny them.
When you deny your gifts, bad things happen.
Yeah. Yes. And one of the things I've learned along the way is you're never competing against anybody else.
No.
You're in your own race. You're in your own race. They signed up for something completely different than you signed up for. Earth School is a blueprint, and you decide what you're going to come in here and learn. And so to compare yourself to anyone else,
when you start comparing, it's a reflection of stuff that you need to look at.
Yeah, it's always like when you point your finger and the three fingers are pointing back at you.
Yep.
It's like, you better check yourself. Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode today. I hope that everyone enjoyed Brandy's story and learned something about themselves, and also gave you hope for what's out there and what's possible, and that at the end of the day, this is not the end of the day.
Right.
There's a lot more on the other side of that rainbow bridge. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time on Saturdays with Spirit. If you're looking to connect with Brandy, I think you said they can send you a friend request or connect with you on Facebook. So how do you spell your name?
Brandy, Brandy, Christensen, Christensen.
S-E-N. Okay, perfect. And if you can't find her, let me know. I'd be happy to connect you with her. And thanks so much. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks.